Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
Hi, and welcome back to Realistic Sustainability. I'm Mike, and this is another one of those short episodes. Not really sure how long it will be, but we're going to call it a short. Don't have a good track record of talking forever by myself, and who the heck wants to hear me talk just by myself? But we, as I'm sure some of you know, who follow my personal Facebook or through Green Your Life, the Instagram, Threads, we went on a trip. We are trying to spend more time in nature. I have spent far too much time at a desk. My weight is proof of that. I want to get out. I want to do more. And we had some friends who'd never been to the big island of Hawaii, which, by the way, that is my favorite place on the planet. This is our second time. We spent 9 days out there. So one of the things I wanted to do is just share the experience, go through the 9 days with all of you. Not to brag, but hopefully so that it kind of encourages others to get out into nature, go on those hikes, spend a little more time outside. Because I have to tell you, I feel so much better getting outside, hiking, and being a big guy. I am a chunky guy right now. And I say right now because I fluctuate severely at times, but getting out there, moving around, getting the fresh air was exhilarating. It helped me tremendously just on that one vacation. It was a true vacation. I didn't just take days off to clean the yard. We went somewhere, and I want to share it with everybody. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to do some of these shorts. We were there 9 days. Today, we get day 1 and day 2. I won't pretend like day 1 was super exciting because it really wasn't. That is one heck of a flight. Remember, we live in Michigan, which means we're flying out of Detroit. Not a short flight in any way, shape, or form, but even more, we actually passed our destination for a connecting flight. As many of us know, different companies do things different ways. In order for us to get to Kona, we had to go to Honolulu first and take a short flight over. So the travel day, not fun. It was a long flight from Detroit to Honolulu, and then a 45-minute puddle jump to Kona. It was about 10 hours. So when we decide to go to Hawaii, we're expecting a little bit of torment on the way. I'm not a fan of airplanes, but there's not many other ways to get there. And if I plan on living there someday, and I do, I plan on kind of living a little more off the grid. I plan on homesteading in Hawaii. And hopefully, if I'm really lucky, teaching at the University of Hilo there in Hawaii. Actually, it's the University of Hawaii in Hilo. Let me correct that. I won't pretend like travel was wonderful. I will tell you it could have been worse, that the company we flew, which was Delta, made things as comfortable as possible. And we were able to get there. Let's go with that. Now, I will say we had some hiccups while we were in Honolulu. Apparently, there were certain rules about which flight to get on and how you check in, because we weren't going from a Delta flight to a Delta flight. We were going from Delta to Hawaiian. And if you do that, FYI, go to the front desk of her Hawaiian and check in. Yes, they have a ticket that says none of us read it. Not a single. I'll blame it on myself, but that's not something you're accustomed to doing. So we missed that flight and had to wait an hour for another. Luckily, going to the island is like a bus, and that you see a lot of those flights on a regular basis. But due to the kindness of an employee for Hawaiian Airlines, they were able to get us on the next one, and we were up and running in Kona in 81-degree weather, sunny. It felt amazing. We were there before you knew it. It was a wonderful experience. Just getting out in the sun. It's not that way here. Alamo Rental, they did not have our vehicle, so they gave us a hybrid, which turned out to be very, very good for us. Even though many hybrids only have 20 or 30 mile capabilities, with Hawaii, there's a lot of hills. You were constantly regenerating that battery. I was able to use a lot of time on the electric without plugging it in. And for those of you who don't necessarily understand what I mean, we're using wasted kinetic force. So when you engage the brakes, it's converting some of that back to your battery. So going down those big, long mountain hills, I could apply the brake and charge the battery and be able to drive it a bit more. So we ended up with this 4xe Jeep, which allowed us to kind of explore some places we may not have been able to if we would have got the correct vehicle. So it's one of those things where maybe Alamo didn't protect for the vehicle we wanted, but we ended up with something that fit our needs way better. It was a little bit, it took a learning curve to drive. Jamie would definitely tell you that I was a terrible driver in the beginning because I've never had a Wrangler. And the way they move on their windy turns in Hawaii, I can say I've done better. So it was not just Jamie and I, but our friends joined us, Mike and Nicole Notter, and they had never been there before. So part of our vacation was to show them what we see in Hawaii. And on day one, it was primarily travel, basking in the sun just because you could feel it, and then really getting our room situated, taking the bags back, getting ourselves comfortable, and then going out to eat. We ended up at a restaurant called Hugo's. Jamie had found it online. We didn't know anything about it. Ended up being more upscale than we expected because we were dressed like we just got off a 10-hour flight. Pajamas, t-shirts, shorts. We were the odd ducks in that building. But they did have good food. It was a nice place. We got to watch crabs on the beach run around while we were waiting for our food. The highlight was one of the things I try to get at least once while I'm in Hawaii is poke. Poke is basically, in a sense, kind of a sushi. It's not a uncooked fish, and poke just means the fish of the day or the fish. So whatever fish they have, they chemically cook it. So they're doing it with lemon. Mike, much like myself through most of my life before I traveled, is a meat and potato kind of guy. I got him to try poke. He'll never admit that it was good because he almost had to close his eyes to eat it. But him and Jamison both tried it. I'm going to say they liked it. I don't think they'll ever take a second bite, but it really was very good. It was amazing. And one of the things I love about Hawaii is you can ask any waiter or waitress, what on your menu is locally sourced? They know the answer. They know which ones you should go for and which ones you should avoid. That is cool because when you're on an island, you want the pineapple from the island. You want the coconut from the island. You want the fish that the owners are going over and buying from the market that morning. That is how you get a great meal. And so I was able to get my friends to try poke, but I don't think they'll ever order it. But as for our first day, it was a good day because you were on your way to Hawaii, even through most of it. So even the poor travel, the optimism kind of overrides. It was a good day. We got everything situated. We went out, got a bite to eat, and we were in bed before you knew it. The Hawaiian Big Island, if you ask anybody, they'll tell you it's my happy place. That's the one place on the planet where I don't think about work. I don't think about dabble. I don't think about all the obligations I have with Edible Landscape or Green in Your Life, any of the things that I run. What I think about is the beauty of the Hawaiian Islands. And I was hoping that same thing was going to happen again, and it did. Day 2, we started to explore right off the bat. Up early, had a little breakfast, and off and running. Now, when I say the Big Island is my favorite place, the best city on the Big Island, in my opinion, is Hilo. It's less commercialized. It's more locals. There's more local food. There's more local vendors and artisans. And I really enjoy just being in that city. It's the second largest city on the island, and that's where we spent day 2, starting off in Hilo because we wanted to go to the fruit market. That would allow us to buy some fruit to keep at the room so that we had healthy snacks. And there's also a lot of artisans. We go around to all the different vendors and see what they have. So we started in Hilo that day, and because we got it takes about 2 hours from where we stayed to get out to Hilo. We stopped and ate at a place called Pineapple where they had locally sourced fish again. And there I went off with swordfish for that one. Now, that one, I wasn't being very cool. I did the fish and chips. So you got really, really good fish, but deep fried. But everybody seemed to really enjoy what they got. We went to the farmer's market. We bought some pretty decent amount of fruit. We got some avocados, some lilikoi. I always have to get a couple of pineapples because I don't know if you know this or not. Pineapples just taste better in Hawaii. I don't know what it is. They're sweeter. They just taste better. That is where I learned that there's apparently a white pineapple. There was a local there that was talking about if I want a sweet yet not acidic pineapple, look for a white pineapple. They're very expensive. I guess they're $25, $30 for a white pineapple. But I thought I had to at least try it once. So I ran around to every vendor looking for this white pineapple. And in case you're wondering, Jamie thought a local was just pulling my leg and kind of making fun of me by making me run around and look for something that doesn't exist. But we checked. It does exist. They're just more rare. They only out at certain seasons and they get sold pretty quickly. So, haha, Jamie, it was real. I just had to go out and start looking for one. So by day 2, I know the rest of the days I'm going to run around looking for a white pineapple. From the farmer's market, we moved over to the artisan market, and about 3/4 of those vendors really have basic items, things that aren't made by locals. Unfortunately, the cruise ships also dock in the same places. So there's a lot of vendors there who are just selling the knick-knack stuff. They aren't making it. They're buying it in bulk. It's just, the plastic turtle that says Hawaii on it. And I'm never really interested in those. What I'm interested in is what is someone making? And the first time we were there, I found an artist that their mother makes t-shirts with their son's art. And it's Hawaiian art. It has to do with the connection to the island. And I really enjoyed them. And I'll be darned if they still weren't there. So I did. I bought a couple of shirts. While I'm recording this, I'm wearing one. It's a ukulele, but all the design is in that ukulele are pieces of Hawaii. I also found this photographer who, moves about the island and gets really amazing shots. And we have a lot of their original art and photography in our home already. And I was able to get a few more new shots from them. Those are what I like. I like finding those locals who are taking pictures of the nature of that island or showing their expression through their art. That's what I want. I don't really care about the magnet. I care about these other things. And that's why I like the Hilo market. At least there's a handful, about 1/4 of the vendors there are doing something themselves. They're making things. The bracelets are made from lava rocks that have gone into tumblers and become round, and they can turn them into bracelets or whatever it happens to be. That's what I love. And by the way, that photographer, I got another lava flow. As you know, the island is not active right now. So when it was, photographers really were going wild, getting good shots, and I got one of those. We also got a horned lizard. I don't know what it is about me just finding random animals. And then, of course, more sea turtles, because I got a thing for sea turtles. And which, by the way, the last time I was there, we did not get to see a sea turtle. So I was really excited and hoping that we would see one on this vacation. That was a bucket list item for me. So when we got done with the market, we left enough time to be able to hit some more touristy spots. And we ended up going to a place called Rainbow Falls. The falls are beautiful. They're very crowded, though. This is the place where buses stop. You have a ton of people going over there and seeing this 80-foot waterfall that falls over a lava canyon, a lava cave. So they call it Rainbow Falls because the spray of the water and the orientation creates this rainbow most of the day. It's a waterfall. It's beautiful. It's interesting, but it wasn't like the groundbreaking things. We weren't necessarily fully exploring yet. There's a legend to that waterfall that the Hawaiian goddess, is it Hina or Hina, Hina, the goddess of the moon, lives in that cave, which is neat. You get to read some stuff they have there for historical and legend, but it really wasn't the stealing of the show. While we were there, there's another path. And we took this other path off to the side. there was a massive banyan tree, Banyan. That tree was anywhere between 80 and 100 feet tall. These trees are something that are awe-inspiring to see. They look like vines because they are completely rooted. They spread indefinitely. So if you left that tree unchecked, it could grow into a half acre to where that half acre would be completely unusable by people. Wildlife would be teeming throughout it, but it's like vines that are strong enough to be a tree. It roots from above and below, so it can really spread quite quickly. They have those aerial roots hang, and once they hit the ground, they will root in and start becoming a trunk. They're really amazing, and they're huge, absolutely massive. Again, if you go and join my Facebook, my personal one, I don't know, it should be down in the description from this show. I let anybody and everybody follow it or join, and it is all those pictures are in there. Those trees are amazing. I might even use the tree for the cover art for this short because it is so cool. They are absolutely massive. But that kind of stole the show for the day when you go off on that side hike away from the thing they want you to see and see this other amazing natural thing that you just can't see in Michigan. We don't have trees like that in Michigan. Our friends were in awe of how it grows, how thick it is, and how dense it was. It was exciting. And if you've never seen those trees, look it up. It's banyan, Banyan tree. Anyways, that day was kind of our warm-up day. We got to go to the Hilo market. We got to go venture around in the city. And then we moved out to a little bit of nature, which turns out this week turned into much more nature hikes, which we really wanted. But this first full day was just getting a feel for that side of the island, getting used to the mountains on one side and the ocean on the other, knowing that you've got volcanoes all around you, and just enjoying the natural beauty of everything around you, from the kindness of all the locals to the just stunning, gorgeous backgrounds that surrounded us. It turned out to be a pretty good day. I don't think any of these days you're going to hear that we were disappointed or we had a bad day. I will tell you that by the time we got home, it was pouring rain. By the time we got back to our site, we were soaked by the time we got into the room. Jamie made a nice video of us just standing there looking like drowned pups, just looking silly as could be. But the day was nice. We got to do some hiking. We got to see some nature. We were awe-inspired by a tree. We got to spend some time with locals, try some local food. All in all, day one and day two, I don't think we could have made those days better. And so we spent that time wisely. If you get the opportunity, jump on, see the videos. I'll try to get some of that stuff over to the greening page too, because it's worth seeing. It's one of those places that our videos can calm you down. Anyways, that's all I've got. I know I said it's going to make it a short. We'll see after the edit how short it really became. I did ramble on a little bit. It's a beautiful place, and we want to share it with everybody. So we really appreciate you listening to the show. We have 9 days to cover. So a lot of it is the beauty of the island. Some of it is the excitement of getting to hang out with some of the locals. But I want you to get a feel for the time that we had there. So thank you again for listening. If you enjoyed this short, share it with a friend or on social media. One of the ways that I was able to keep my energy levels up with all the hiking we did over this 9 days, that was my magic mind. That mental performance drink that also offers energy with all those vitamins, that helped a ton. So if you want your own, go to www.magicmind.com. Use the promo code sustainability20. You can find that down in the description to get 20% off yours. Again, we greatly appreciate you listening. And remember, we're just trying to get a little bit better. We're taking this time in nature, enjoying it, and kind of reconnecting. Well, we do that in today's world, little bit, big bit. Again, thanks. And I'll talk to you soon.